Hi students, today we are going to learn about using multiplication tables of 2 and 3 to solve word problems. You can repeat the objective today after me. We can use multiplication tables of 2 and 3 to solve word problems. Over here we have the multiplication tables of 2 and 3. Remember that a multiplication table, we're not talking about the type of table that we sit at to eat or type of table we sit at to learn, okay? A table is like a chart, like a graph. It's a way to collect information, okay? So here we have the multiplication tables of 2 and 3. 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 5 is 10, 2 times 6 is 12, 2 times 7 is 14, 2 times 8 is 16, 2 times 9 is 18, 2 times 10 is 20. So students, this can keep going for as long as we want. These are only the first 10 multiples of 2, okay? I put this sign here. This means infinity or infinite, right? We could keep going for as long as possible and still not have written all of the possibilities of multiples of 2, okay? So this table shows the first 10. So here we have the multiplication table of 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 10 is 30. So hopefully by now you've started to become familiar with the multiplication tables of 2 and 3, and you're starting to feel confident in some of the answers. Okay, just in case, I've put the multiplication table of 3 over here on the side to help us solve the problem. Okay, so here's the word problem. There are 3 flowers. Each flower petal has 8 petals. How many petals are there all together? Okay, so if I'm using Ripsy, I'm going to go ahead and read the problem. I've already done that. Now I need to investigate it. So I'm going to highlight or underline 3 flowers, 8 petals, and all together. Remember that all together tells us that we're either going to multiply or add, right? And in this case, we're doing repeated addition or multiplication because we have equal groups. Okay, so obviously right now, I know that to solve this, I need to solve the problem 3 times 8 because there are 3 flowers and there are 8 petals on each flower. So there are 3 groups of 8. I'm going to go ahead and draw that. I'm going to draw 3 groups of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I have 3 groups of 8 here. Now, of course, because the table is here, I can look over and find the answer. However, mathematicians, you need to remember that we need to prove our answers to ourselves. So we're going to go ahead and count the dots that we've added. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, I have 24 petals all together. Look how they restated what they were asking for, right? They asked us how many petals are all together, so they restated the question here. Okay, so we've solved, and by drawing this picture and counting them one by one, that's also us evaluating our answer, right? We might know off the top of our head that 3 times 8 is 24, but this work right here, drawing the equal groups, that helps show us that our answer is correct. We're evaluating it. We're checking to make sure it's true. All right, let's try the next one. There are 7 children. Each child has 2 balloons. How many balloons are there all together? Okay, so I've read the problem. I need to go and highlight it. There are 7 children. That's important to me. And they each have 2 balloons. That's also important to me. Okay? How many balloons are there all together? I know all together tells me I'm going to add or multiply. Because I have equal groups, each of them have 2 balloons, I'm going to multiply here. Okay? So I have 7 children with 2 balloons in each. Okay, I've investigated this. To plan this, I'm going to draw out 7 groups. And I'm going to put 2 balloons in each group. Okay, this one I can skip count by 2 to count. All right, so I can count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. There are 14 balloons altogether. I can planned, I've solved. I put 14 here. I can evaluate, I can check my multiplication chart, and I see here that 2 times 7 is 14 as well. I also evaluated here by skip counting and counting the equal groups. So in this picture, in this problem, they actually gave us a picture with 2 balloons in each, so we could have counted the balloons here as well to check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I also see 14 total balloons here in the illustration. The difference in this problem is we saw only 3 flowers here. We didn't say 3 groups of 8, so this picture was more just for us to understand the problem. It wasn't for us to count. Here, though, we see the equal groups. So when you have an illustration that is showing you exactly what is in the picture, you can go ahead and use that, right? It's always good to use that as a strategy to solve a problem. Okay, here's the next one. Fill in the blanks. There are 2 apples in each bowl. There are 5 bowls of apples. How many apples are there all together? Okay, so he's asking us, can you remember your multiplication tables of 2 and 3? So this is the last problem. I've provided the multiplication table here for us, and then it's going to go away, okay? So if I'm thinking about Ripsy, I'm thinking about reading the problem, I'm going to go ahead and investigate. I have 2 apples in each bowl, and there are 5 bowls of apples. How many apples are there all together? Okay, so again, very nicely, they already have shown us that there are 5 groups of 2. They've drawn that for us, right? Remember that this multiplication symbol means the same as groups of. 5 groups of 2. So we can go ahead and skip count by 2 to solve, because we already have a plan here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I see a total of 10 apples. Now to evaluate, we can check the multiplication table of 2. And it does tell us here that 2 times 10, it does tell us here that 2 times 5 is indeed 10. Okay? So there are 10 apples all together. Okay? You can also evaluate this. Since you're new to skip counting, you can go back and count the apples by ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I still see 10 apples. Okay? Okay, there's no chart and there's no equation. We're going to have to make the equation for ourselves. So I'm going to put Ripsy here. And we're going to go ahead and read the problem. Fill in the blank. Mr. Harris gives some stickers to 8 students. He gives 3 stickers to each student. How many stickers does Mr. Harris give to the students all together? Okay, I've gone ahead and read and investigated that problem. So, all together, I know that each student got the same number of stickers. So that means I know I'm going to multiply here, okay? It tells me that 8 students get 3 of each sticker, and I'm trying to figure out how many stickers there are. Okay, so to plan this out, I'm going to draw a picture. I'm going to draw 8 groups. Remember, this means groups of, so this tells me how to draw it. 8 groups of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to go ahead and put 3 in each group. Okay, so now is when it's really important that you work on skip counting by 3s or knowing your multiplication table of 3. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and skip count these groups to solve. Okay, we're going to count 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 20, Miss Egan, you messed up. This is 21. And this is 24. So how I just caught my error, students, is I started skip counting by 2s after 18. And what I did to catch my error is I know my multiplication tables. I've memorized them so much. I knew I had to get an answer of 24. Okay, so that's why it's so important to memorize it, because you can easily catch your errors when proving yourself correct. Okay, so we've solved this. To evaluate it, we could go back and recount every single dot to make sure that we counted correctly. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, so we have 24 stickers. Mr. Harris gave the students 24 stickers altogether. So what's important here, students, is that 1, you go through RIPSI, 2, you draw yourself a picture, and 3, you check your work, right? That's really important. Hopefully you're starting to get better at these. Okay, here's the last one. I'm going to read this to you, and then I'm going to ask you to pause the video and try and solve it on your own, like an exit ticket. I'll put exit ticket up here for old time's sake. Okay, and I want you to unpause it when you want to check on the answer. Okay, there are 2 walnuts in each jar. There are 7 jars of walnuts. How many walnuts are there all together? So there are 2 walnuts in each jar. There are 7 jars of walnuts. How many walnuts are there all together? Okay, so we have 2 walnuts in each jar, and there are 7 jars. So there are 7 groups of 2 walnuts. Okay, remember that if you want to, you can switch these 2 numbers. Okay, that is not the wrong answer. So if you have that down, these are the same, right? All we did is switch the order. These are equal. Okay, and that's acceptable with multiplication. So go ahead and pause the video here. I want you to plan this, and I want you to solve it. Okay, we've gone ahead and done the first 2 steps. And we really started the plan by writing out the equation. Okay, so go ahead and pause it and unpause when you're ready to work through the rest of the problem. Okay, now that you've unpaused, I want you to make sure that you have drawn equal groups to solve this problem. So that we can skip count by 2, I'm going to draw 7 groups, and I'm going to put 2 dots in each group. There is no need for me to make these look like walnuts. That is not what we are here to do. Okay, that's another class. We want to make sure we're doing our math efficiently. Okay, so now I can go ahead and I can skip count by 2. Okay, so skip count with me. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Okay, I just found out that 7 times 2 or 2 times 7 are both equal to 14. There are 14 walnuts altogether. So I planned and I solved. To evaluate, I'm going to count these by 1s to make sure that I counted correctly. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I did indeed count correctly. The other thing that you could ask yourself is, does this make sense? Is the number 14 bigger than the number 7 and the number 2? Because if we're joining or combining equal groups, we know that our answer, our product, needs to be larger than both numbers 7 and 2. So ask yourself that as well, right? Does my answer makes sense. That's part of the evaluation process as well. Okay? All right, students. So what I'd like you to do now is to complete your workbook pages. I would also like to make sure that you are getting on Prodigy. Okay, you're going to be using this video to help you with math for the rest of the week. Okay, so that's pages 170 to 174. All right, and then lucky for you, we do not have actual school on Friday, so we're going to be pushing that to Monday, and I will be posting a video to practice skip counting by 2s and 3s, and also to start a little bit of division. All right, students, I will talk to you soon. Hope you enjoyed this lesson. Bye.